Well, at first glance, I have to say that it looks pretty.
Does it look like everything's working?
It looks like everything's working. I actually added some stuff. I played around with it. I had a little bit more time today. So I started doing all kinds of stuff, which didn't really help. But at least now I know that it can't be doing it any better. But I also added the chat, the live chat to the. You can't see that now because the program is there, but I can. I don't. Did I share my screen with you?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So when the delay is gone, you will see in the left top corner where the program is now the chat window. And that makes it a bit easier for all these people to talk to us. So anyway.
For our enormous audience.
For our enormous audience. Anyway, I'm going to say welcome, Edwin. Although I don't have a clue if he's there, but we'll probably hear about that later. Yeah, everything's fine. Edwin is there. Yes! We'll probably, once Edwin stops watching, we'll probably just throw the towel. Anyway, it's good to see you all. We've had another, I don't know, about 20 views on YouTube, which is sort of the normal amount. So we're still.
Can you tell on YouTube if they watch the video all the way through, or if they just watch the first 10 seconds and then stop?
I can, but I haven't looked at that. Maybe that's something that we can do some reporting on next week. If they just see us and think, "Oh my God, no," and then just go watch something else, or if there's something I don't know. I'll have to see. Yeah, the analytics are not.
If all the views are like 5 or 10 seconds, and then they just
go, "Oh, wrong button." Yeah, no, it was. I don't know. I really don't know. If I don't forget and keep, just remind me that I will do a report on that in the next show. Although there is not a lot of analytics to be seen, but we should be able to get something. Anyway,
we're only 3 minutes into the show and already we have a list.
Yes, we are making our list for next week. But the thing is, we have to remind ourselves to do that next week. But the two of you will probably do that, and I'm sure Edwin will, because he's very good at that. So
is that because we've reached a certain age where we can't remember things for ourselves anymore?
I reached that age 20 years ago, and it's been the same.
It's been downhill ever since.
Yep. So it's not gonna get any better, I'm afraid. Anyway, we'll start off as we do normally with some news of the week. I've got one or two items that I think we should discuss. Formula One. I don't want to do a long one because we did a long one last week, but there are some things that might be worth talking about. I want to talk about AirTag functionality. I saw a video of a guy that you should really follow on YouTube about some changes in AirTag. On the top of the screen, you see a little Titanic, my little Titanic. And just, I'll tell you a little bit of how that came about. And then we'll...
You went into the Zolder again, didn't you?
Yeah, sometimes I do that, yeah. Anyway, we'll do that. Also, this week, as I said, we have a chat window where we can see the live chat. Also, what I want to do is a Q&A. But it might be there are so many people that I will just answer the most important questions. Anyway, let's.
I have an important question.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Yes.
No? Oh, okay. There we go.
Good.
Okay. It's your Titanic, so it's on the rim of your pond, or not?
Yes.
So next week we will make the movie.
Yes. Well, it's funny that you should say that, because obviously I've been thinking about that, of throwing an ice cube in the pond, and then making a really fun spoof video with Titanic music. The only problem is, if you use the real score, we'll probably get all kinds of copyright claims. So I'm a little bit of, I mean, I've done that type of thing before, and then there was no way of sharing that because you'll get hit by a million copyright claims, and it's just not fun. But maybe there's a way to do that anyway, and just show little pieces of it. But it's funny that you should say that, because that was exactly my first thought of doing that, and then just do a couple of shots with I'm the king of the world, and all that.
Are you gonna have Lego minifigs of Jack and Rose drowning?
Exactly. That would be so cool. And obviously we all have lots of time to do that kind of stuff. So I'll probably I'm already putting a lot of pressure on myself again to really start doing that. But anyway, Edwin says, "Ja, leg de druk maar lekker bij mij." He feels pressured a little bit. The whole show.
He has to come up with a starter.
He has to come up with a question, and the whole show is on his shoulders. So that's
and he has to make a list now.
And he has to make a list.
Topics.
Yeah. We should actually have him in the show live. Maybe I should go to his house, use the treadmill for the cars thing that we showed last week, and then do a show from his house. Then he can also be on the show.
He can join in.
Yeah, he can join in. We have so many ideas, and then before we start, I don't know what to talk about. And now we haven't even started yet, and we're almost 10 minutes in. But
well, we're still on admin at the moment. We're still on an administration task.
Yes.
I like the new layout, by the way. It looks like you've actually put some effort into this now, because we're bigger on the bottom of the screen, and you have the logo on the on the side at the top.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
I changed that a little bit.
I think the new level of professionalism will draw in thousands more viewers.
Yes, maybe. I hope so, because it's been a lot of work. It's been almost 5 minutes. So
the next thing.
Almost 5 minutes.
The next thing we need to change is the font that you're using.
Yeah, you don't like it?
I mean, Comic Sans, that's a bit 1990s, isn't it?
I know, but that's...
Therefore, it's there.
Therefore, that's exactly why it's there.
Yeah.
I will... Okay, Edwin, can you put that on the list?
I can make my name highlight a little bit better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there we are.
Oh, yeah.
There we are. I've created my own frame now.
Maybe if you're lucky, we make it bold next week.
I could probably do it too. There we are. I can put.
Oscar looks like he's got it on his shirt, so that's okay.
Yeah, it's my logo.
Yeah.
It's your logo.
Yeah.
Welcome to McDonald's. My name's Oscar.
How can I serve you tonight?
Yeah, would you like some fries with that?
Oh well. Anyway.
Whopper.
Whopper. Yeah. That's
Whopper cheese.
Yeah.
like the little kid on The Simpsons. Would you like fries with that?
Yeah. Oh God, yes. It's Anyway, where were we? I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. Edwin is making a list, so that's really cool.
Excellent, good.
Yeah, he is actually like the secretary or the chair.
He's our administrative secretary.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, which is great. I'll make sure he's in the credits.
Do we need to pay him?
No, obviously not, because this is all just an honor.
I have to say, I'm still waiting for my check. It's not appeared in the post yet.
No, I don't know. It's things take a long time these days, so it could be lost somewhere.
Still,
it's
somewhere in Australia.
Yeah,
it's still in the Australia Post Depot.
It's between Perth and Tokyo somewhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I need to chat with him and get him to send that on to Tokyo. He didn't send it last week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't want to break down the link. We don't want to break down the chain. So
no,
that'd be great. Maybe just let's just throw things around a little bit. Talking about AirTags. There is this guy. Let me try and bring up that screen if I can. There is this guy on YouTube who I follow. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we've got this problem again. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just don't stay in the correct.
So strange.
Yeah, they keep changing. The sizes keep changing, as I told you before. And I'm not sure why that happens, but it does. And I will have to reset that before I go over to the next screen. Yeah, that's
as soon as you press play, you know it's going to change the size again.
Yeah, probably. We'll see about that. Let's just kill that one and play. I think it's playing, and everything seems to be still going okay. Okay, this guy, he's got a channel. It's called Bite My Bits, and this guy is hilarious. He is a guy that just goes on and builds servers, builds complete home security systems, does all kinds of tests of robot vacuum cleaners, but in a special, very unprofessional almost way. So he just gludges everything. He just does it.
Yeah.
Not professional. He just does it like we all do. And it is Bite My Bits is a channel that we should probably all follow because it's hilarious. He did his own his garage, and he put in a new floor, and it all went wrong. There were different colors in it, and then he had to tool it off again, and he went back to the store, and everything goes wrong. So everything this guy does, there is some sort of problem, which is very much what I always have when I start doing stuff. So it's very relatable, and that's probably the best way to describe it. This guy, and he doesn't only show the nice stuff in his videos. He actually shows the stuff that he fucks up. He'd rather show that than the things that do work well, which is just great. Anyway, that's a little bit of backstory. He had a story about AirTags now, and what he is actually discovered. He has 30 of these things, and he uses it also in his company to tag stuff that tend to disappear from the company.
Yeah.
People lend stuff, and he never finds it back. They forget to bring it back, or it just gets nicked or whatever. So he used it for that. He put AirTags in that. And now Apple, because of security and privacy reasons, which I can understand, if there is an AirTag in your in your area, very close by, that is transmitting its location to someone else for longer than 4 hours, you will get a notification on your phone that there is an AirTag nearby that is tracking you.
Yeah.
Which
I think he was a bit late to the game on this, because it's been like that since the beginning.
Okay, maybe.
But it's never really worked. I mean, where my AirTag at the moment is sitting with my friend in Australia, and they have 2 iPhones in the house, and they've not been alerted yet, and it's been there for over a week.
Okay, so that's weird. So either it's an update that's coming, or I don't know what's going on. We probably have to check that. Anyway, he says that although there are still lots of other things they can use it for, to tag your own stuff and find your keys when you can't find them, it's not one of the things that he was using it for. So if people steal something, so if somebody with an iPhone steals your bike, he gets notified that there is an AirTag in that bike that is tracking him, so he can look it up and throw it away, and then it's useless. So for that specific use, it's just not feasible. Or they have to say that it does that because of privacy reasons, and they actually never implement it. That could also be the case, obviously, because because, as you say, your friend in Perth hasn't received any messages that he's being followed. So
yeah.
Well,
and I have reason to believe that they have iPhones, because when I look at the location now, it tells me like his exact address to the house number.
Yeah.
Now, if it was one of his neighbors that had the phone that was pinging my AirTag, it would tell me the address of where that phone was.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's giving me the exact address where he lives, I think, well, that must be a phone in that house.
Yeah.
So,
well,
it'll be interesting if more people do this by sending AirTags in the mail. Then the mail carriers will just get their phones will just get constant updates saying there's an AirTag, there's an AirTag, there's an AirTag.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's problems with that too. So I don't know how they're gonna fix that, but.
I'm still hopeful we can get it to go around the world at least once, and then we'll just call an end to that experiment.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a cool thing to do anyway. It was just that we've been talking about AirTags, and this was something that
if it ends up in a metal recycling center like that other guy's AirTags, well, okay, so what? We've proven it. We've proven it's very capable.
Yeah, definitely. It's.
But if it only will start saying this after 4 hours. That the AirTag is in your neighborhood, then of course, well, if somebody steals your bicycle or whatsoever, then you need to be within the 4 hours to find it back.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the reason why normally people will not get the messages that they are close to an AirTag.
I mean, they've accidentally created the world's best anti-theft tracking system, and now they've made it so you can't use it for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this guy from Bite My Bits is, Jason. Jason is saying.
Obviously, what they're marketing it as is a way of finding your stuff. Well, okay. Do I really need an AirTag on a keyring? Do I ever lose my keys inside my house to the point where I can't find them? No. You know. If I've lost a laptop that has an AirTag on it and someone's stolen it, the first thing they're going to do is take the AirTag off and just throw it in the bin.
Because they'll see it. So it's just the cases where you can hide it somewhere where people won't look, and then because people don't know that the AirTag's there, and that's the privacy thing because they're being tracked without them knowing, and you can't do that obviously.
Yeah.
And that's because Apple has to put something in there that if this thing is close to a person and is sending tracking information, it then notifies that person's phone that there is an AirTag that is being tracked close by.
Yeah.
In a couple of hours, I don't know exactly, but I think he talked about 4 hours or something. Which then kills that whole security thing, I would think. But
we're still having some fun. I guess we'll wait and see what.
Yeah, it's not. That doesn't change anything to what we are doing.
Yeah.
As I said,
until someone in the mail service actually throws the tag away.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's going to keep going once it gets put in the mail. I assume it's going to get to Tokyo, and I assume it's going to get back to me.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it will, and then it would be cool to just.
What I was thinking, I think we did not yet speak about it. Chris, do you have a cat or something?
Mm-hmm.
I do. Is the cat who goes out of your house or?
No, she's an indoor cat, but our neighbor across the street has 2 outdoor cats, and they both have AirTags on their collars.
Okay,
because I can imagine that's also very funny to see where
the
these
cat
cats
goes.
go. I think they did it once somewhere in the neighborhood of London or whatever in the UK.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel called Half Asleep Chris, and he put GPS collars on his cats to see where they went.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
and he regretted it.
Yeah. Sorry,
he regretted it.
He regretted it.
Yeah,
he was happier when he didn't know where they went.
Yeah. Well, it seems that these cats, but also for other people to know, they go into houses and walk to complete different cities, etc. during the night.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's like Return of the Living Dead or something. These cats go everywhere, and they will take over someday.
They're having their own network set up.
They're setting up a big.
Oh well.
They're going to rule the world. Yeah. But there's a YouTube channel. Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, another thing that I saw, and I think I shared it with you already, is because we were talking about RC cars and crawlers and and suspension, and that most of them just look wrong because they're bouncing around. And then I saw this video of RC Korea, which I assume is guy from Korea, and he has done something, and I haven't been able to find out what exactly, but the suspension on this thing, it's obviously a little bit slow motion, this video, which always helps, but the suspension on this thing is really great. And I thought he's got a lot of videos on his channel, so I probably should share that too with you, because what he does is really, really cool. And what's also cool is that it looks like his rims aren't turning, but that's probably because of the... Oh, now they are. The speed was just right for that. Anyway, so if you see how this car behaves, and also how it looks, by the way, it's really, really cool. And this is something that I would like. I don't need the extreme rock climbing stuff. I need a car that just drives like this and shows this real life behavior, really. I do like the body too, by the way, the Pajero body. But you could probably do that with other cars too. He's got a lot of videos. I'll just try and start up another one. And it's really cool how he does that. And not all the cars are as good as... Oh, this is the same one again. This one's really good. So he probably keeps filming that one because it's so good. But there are also other cars that he does. I just thought it was great to share this channel with you. And
yeah, he's done some really interesting work there. So he's obviously... The suspension is obviously completely controlled by his circuitry.
I think so.
And he's measuring the impact on the shock absorbers and then adjusting the suspension so that it looks like it's...
That's the thing. I'm not sure if he does that. We've talked about that system where there is sort of active suspension that mimics the real suspension. But I'm not sure if this guy is using that, to be honest. It looks like it, but I can't because it's all in bloody Korean. I mean,
unless he's added like 100 kilos to an RC car to make the suspension behave, he must be doing the active suspension.
Yeah. Either it's very heavy. That could be something too.
It's just.
But also, if you look at that Land Rover, it's also pretty cool. I will try and find out if he. I don't know if it's somewhere.
See if you can get YouTube to translate it for you.
Yeah. This one, maybe
Korean to Dutch. That'd be exciting.
That'd be exciting, yeah. It says here, I think body Land Rover shock stock. He says that those are stock shocks here in English. There's a delay probably, but I'm reading this is in English. Anyway, let's try and find out what it is. But I just thought it looked great, so. That's the reason why I
definitely
why I tried and I thought I'd show you that. Anyway, so
very cool. Talking about cars, I was watching this weekend, or not watching, searching for Unimogs.
Oh yeah.
And actually, you buy them for €8,000 or something. You have.
Okay.
You have quite good, but the real one.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
The only problem is that there are two versions. There's the tracker version and the lorry version.
Yeah.
And as soon as the lorry version, you need your driver license
commercial
to be
driver's
able
license.
Okay.
to drive the big trucks.
Okay.
So. But on the other hand, that's open for discussion.
Unimogs are amazing. I love them.
Yeah.
There's a couple of the ski resorts around here have them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
They use them for towing machinery and stuff like that. But Unimogs are great.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I would really love one just to cross around the hills here and.
Of course.
I'm sorry, the hills in Holland?
Yep.
That well-known... Are you in Limburg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave.
So that would be great. And then well, if this means that I need to get my driver's license for a while, it's very good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I need one when I'm old and want to travel across the USA with a camper, probably.
No, bizarrely, you can take up to a 20-meter camper on a driver's license.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why there's so many accidents.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh well, it's a good idea. You might, it's fun anyway to get the license for the bigger trucks. And who knows? Maybe we should just do that and then just have it.
Ask Edwin to put that on the list. The three of us need to get commercial driver's licenses and document how we do it.
Yeah. Let's see if
that's when we really don't know what to do with all the donations anymore.
We can also
start.
We can also
start doing commercial trucking licenses.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Okay. Anyway, another thing that I've been doing this week is the Titanic. It's almost a story, a memory story, because I was on holiday. Georgia was just about 6 months old. We were on holiday and we were in Switzerland, Germany. And we were on a camping place in Germany. And we were on the way. Oh, it's done. Edwin has written it on the list, so that's cool. We were driving back, and we were for a week on a camping in Germany, and it was in Schwarzwald, and it was not really nice. It was okay, but there were a lot of mosquitoes. We were just totally not happy with that, so we couldn't sleep. Then one of the reasons that we went there is because they had a real big swimming pool near that camping place, which we thought would be nice to go and take Giorgio. And that was closed the day before we arrived. They just shut down for the season. So that wasn't there, which was crazy because it was still August or something, or maybe early September, I don't know. But anyway, they shut that down. So we were there in all our bathing suits and with everything there. And the gate was closed, with the little guy there. And why, But anyway, so that was fun too. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, I need something to do. And I thought, what I'd really like to do, because I have time now, is build something, some sort of kit. Obviously, I didn't bring one. And also, you don't have all your tools. But then I thought, what if I just buy the simplest, cheapest, whatever I can find in the supermarket? I don't even need to paint it, Just buy something, some glue, build it just for fun, and don't stress about it. So we went in there and I found this little Titanic, which is really small, obviously. And it's... I can show
it's even smaller than expected.
It's that small. I thought it was much bigger than that.
No, it's really small.
Wow.
And
quite the opposite of the Titanic.
Yes, yes. And I thought, let's just do it. And it was one of these... I think it was Revel. I think it was Revel. I don't know, and it was one of these kits with everything in it. So it had glue with it. It had some paint with it, some brushes, the works. I thought, well, that's ideal. I can even paint it a little bit. So I started building that, which was fun. But you know how that goes. You want to do that. You really want to do that because you're bored. And then finally, when you are at the point where you can start do it, you're too busy to do it again. So the boredom has gone away and you've got all kinds of other stuff and you don't really have the time to build it. So that was a bit awkward. But anyway, I tried and I built about half the thing. And I just thought, well, everything's right. And I put everything back in the box and I put it in the car and I forgot about it 5 years. Then, as you rightfully said, I was on the zolder, on the attic, and I was going through some stuff and rearranging stuff. And I saw this little box and, oh, wait a minute, I've still got this thing. And I looked in it, everything was there. The paint was there and everything was there. I thought, well, maybe I'll just, last week Saturday, I'll just finish it, just to finish it. And if it's really crap, I can then throw the whole thing away and that's it. Then at least I've done it. So I started building that and then I thought, well, maybe I should put some red paint. And I had an old spray can of red and I started doing it. And I started making it much better than I planned to do. Just because I thought, well, maybe I could do it. So I did that. And in the end, it was even fun because this was just a couple of hours extra work, just putting the paint up on there pretty roughly, because it's so small. I'm not even going to try and do that. And then with some weathering and with some touching up, I thought it actually looked pretty nice. And one of the things, and I'm not sure, because it's probably not going to show. No, the resolution is not going to cut it, although I don't think so. But maybe you can see that the Titanic name is on the bow, just below the white. You can't read it, but that's a really, really small decal. And also on the back, there is, I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. But anyway, there's some nice detail in there, and in the end, I thought it was actually pretty nice. Did some weathering on it, and just as a little project, and it's finished, and it's not that bad. So I'm happy with it, and we can stripe that off the list. So then we can go
Excellent.
on with our new stuff. I just thought I'd show you because it didn't have anything better to show you. So
I have a technology recommendation.
Okay.
Let me just unblur my background. So I bought recently one of these, which is, I mean, you can see compared to the size of my hand.
Yeah.
So it's a SanDisk USB drive. It's solid state, 500 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So this one drive has replaced 8 of my other USB drives. It's got a little keychain holder there for if you want to hang it on a keychain or something. It's the outside here is this sort of rubberized finish. It's all solid state. There's no moving parts. It's USB-C, so it's almost as fast as the discs in my machine. It comes with a USB to USB or a USB-C to A adapter, so you can pull that off the end. Hang on, if I hold that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And it was what was it? $89 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of if you want a USB, like a portable USB drive, this thing is very small and very portable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's these things are nice. I've got one, I think a terabyte one from Samsung, and it's pretty quick too. And I used it on my laptop as an extra drive to just have, the things that I'm doing with even video, 4K video editing. It does work from that drive. I ended up pulling it onto the C drive just because it's a bit quicker, but it could be done. So they're pretty quick now. And they're very small, same sort of size as you have. Just great stuff. I mean, you can imagine that, 10, 20, 30 years ago, it was just a completely different world. Yeah.
I think I still have somewhere. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
I have. I have this.
Oh, yeah.
Which was one of my first thumb drives. It was a little spin out one like that. This has. Oh, this is pretty big. This is 256 megs.
Oh, that's big. I think I have 8 and 16 meg drives somewhere.
So, yeah, this was quite a large one. This was 256 megs.
Yeah, that's already pretty hefty. Yeah, it's crazy because they started out with the first like personal computers, the IBM clones, and they had a hard drive in it with 10 megabytes, which was then like the maximum that you could afford, and it was like the size of a shoebox, and now you take pictures on your phone that are bigger than 10 megabytes, and it goes on a little micro SD or whatever card. It's amazing. It's almost they are at atom level, aren't they? Because how can you do that? How can you store? I think there's even a terabyte now on a.
It's a magic. It's a portal to Narnia.
Yeah.
all the data is stored in a
It's
server
just- yeah,
farm in Narnia.
it's just a
and
portal,
all you have
yeah.
is a little transmitter on the side.
It has to be. It has to be. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, the technology is just it's crazy. Anyway, one thing that we were planning to do is talk a little bit about Formula One. Again, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but what I have to say is that first of all, I think for my feeling, Red Bull is now taking it too far with their, Red Bull shitting. Anyway, they're taking it too far. They should now stop and move on. That's my feeling because it's getting a little bit weak now what they're doing. I did see some more proof about that Hamilton was doing really something else than he would do normally. And although, again, he did not purposely send Max into the barriers with that speed, he did take a really big risk and just went for it. And thought, I don't care what happened. That's just clear. That's all fine.
Well, even the Sky F1 guys have now finally admitted that Hamilton was nowhere near the line that he should have been on.
No.
And they said this week that the fact that he passed two other drivers in the same corner on a much tighter line without hitting them kind of proves that he was basically did it on purpose.
Yeah, his speed was way too high. He was not going to make that corner anyway, and the line was completely different. I saw something today where you saw Max's line normally in cops and the line he took, so there's proof enough that this was not like a real accident. This was just a bit more.
We just need to wait and see what happens in the next couple of races, because if he does it again, Red Bull will push for a suspension.
Yeah. I know. Well, that's one of the reasons that I was going to talk a little bit about this, because I listened to F1 Nation, the show where Damon Hill and Natalie Pinkham and some other guy talk about Formula One. And obviously they're very much pro Hamilton, and they were really about this is just a racing accident, Max Red Bull's being a pussy, a bit like that, which was a little bit annoying, but it was just okay, they were not completely wrong, and I thought, well, it's just their view on it, and they're British, so they're gonna have a little bit of a different view than we have. But
again, we should have a disclaimer for our thousands of viewers: we're in no way biased.
No. But then they should have too, because they were biased towards Hamilton, I think. But anyway, it's just that today on yesterday's show they had Jack Ploy in their show. And it was a good question, because they actually said, what do you think Max is now thinking, what he's doing? And what Jack said, and I think he's right, that first of all, Hamilton has called Max. What's being discussed, we'll never know, but at least he called him. He feels or knows that Max is really not liking all the things that Red Bull is doing now. As a team, with all the complaints and all the lawyers and everything, because he wants to go on and he wants to beat Hamilton fair and square in the next race. So Max in his mind is just saying, okay, forget about it. This is hard racing. I'll make sure that I'll be in front this next race. And Jack says that there will not be, at least he feels like Max is not looking for revenge or something. That's not a feeling that Max is now having. Max just wants to play fair and square and wants to win against Hamilton, which I still think he can, especially in Hungary, which is much more, I think, a Red Bull circuit. So I think our feeling about the whole thing will probably change a lot if next weekend Max will drive a normal, clean race. He becomes first or maybe second, whatever, and everything goes back to normal again. I think that's very important that the next race is done, and then we all know about how it's going. But Jack has a feeling that there's no problem. There's not going to be a revenge or whatever. He also said that he can understand a little bit more the celebrations with Hamilton, because apparently Hamilton did not know that Max was actually in the hospital being checked, which might be I don't know. It could be, but
there's no way.
On the other hand,
Mercedes didn't tell him.
Well, I'm just thinking, I think maybe purposely Mercedes didn't tell him. I don't know.
Then you've got to go and look at Toto Wolff.
Oh yeah, but Toto Wolff is much.
What was his intention?
I think Toto Wolff is a
more telling. Hamilton didn't ask his team radio,
No.
is Max okay?
Well, he asked just
Not
after
once.
it. Yeah, I think he did just after it happened. But anyway, this is the whole discussion again. I still think it's dirty, and it should not have happened. We know it happened. It happened with Senna, with Prost, with lots of other guys in history. We just didn't have social media then, so then it was a whole different thing. And
I did read an interesting point of view from Red Bull. One of the reasons they're still chasing this is the cost cap on spending.
Yeah.
So that accident cost them $1.8 million.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're now stuck because that's come out of money that they were allocating through the whole of the season that they're having to use to rebuild the car.
Well,
and what they're basically saying is, look, at the very least, you need to deduct maybe half of that, like 900,000 from Mercedes' budget, because otherwise you've just handed them the championship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because now we basically have to stop development because we've run out of money because of the cost cap.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think that's one of the points that they have to fight this. Also, what's worrying to me is, are they able to build the car to the same specs?
Can they
rebuild it as good as it was, and will they have failures? There's a new engine going in there. I think they sent the whole engine to Japan to try and save it, which to me sounds crazy. But then again, with the cost caps, that's probably what you need to do.
Yeah, they can't put a new engine in.
But what will happen? I mean, if the car now starts to break down, then the problem will get bigger and bigger, and this could, in effect, hand Mercedes the. And then it becomes a bigger issue.
If Max had just gone off on his own, they'd still have this problem, but it wouldn't be
somebody's fault.
It wouldn't be as problematic. It'd be like, oh crap, we've just had to spend way more money.
No, because
but the fact that they've had to spend it because arguably he was pushed off the track.
Exactly.
It's like, no, you need to penalize Mercedes with the same or a similar sort of financial penalty now, because through no fault of our own, we're basically on the back heels because of the cost cap.
Exactly. And that's dangerous because you now have a precedent where apparently without any big problem, you can just ram your opponent off the circuit and win the championship in that way. And that's the biggest underlying problem I think we've got here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the 10-second penalty doesn't address that.
No.
You know, I mean, at the very least, I would have made sure that Hamilton didn't get any points. Yeah. I don't know if I would have penalized Mercedes to start with because it was driver, not team.
Yeah.
But then the fact that they complained so highly and the fact that it's cost Red Bull so much money, it's like, okay, now they're, I don't know. I mean,
yeah. I agree. It's difficult because this is a new era with new rules and the budget caps and everything. So you can't look at it in the old way. You have to now take into account other things without just killing the sport. You know, it's difficult. It's not an easy thing. But the things you just said, Chris, about something in cost that deduct half of it from
either give them some more cost cap for Red Bull or reduce the cost cap for Mercedes.
I think that's actually quite a smart way of looking at it. That if an incident like this happens. And then it's difficult to say where the line is because these are the numbers 1 and 2 of the championship. One of them is 7 times world champion. The other one is trying to get world champion. The car is quicker. He won the sprint race. There are all kinds of attributing factors that make this worse that it happened. Because if the same thing would have happened with Kimi and Mazepin. It would probably be a little bit different because the stakes are not that high.
Mazepin spins anyway.
He spins anyway, so that's all fine. You know,
he has his own website now, Mazda.spin.
Yeah,
where they just count. Like, it's so bad now. The team principal bought him a Lazy Susan and put something on it, so it's just like a model of his car that just spins round now.
Yeah, I saw that. This is funny.
Would it actually be possible for Max to step into Checo's car?
Well, they might. Maybe they're doing that. Maybe they're.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's possible because as I understand it, Checo is copying Max's. Checo tries to.
Setup.
He's not as quick. That's what I heard. It's not that I have him on WhatsApp, but it's like Checo tries to.
Friend.
Yeah, he is. Checo tries to be as fast as Max, and he isn't. And then there's a second gap or a half a second gap, and he tries to change settings on his car to become quicker. And the only thing that happens is that he becomes slower. So in the end, just before the race, he says, "Just give me Max's setup, and I'll work with it." Yeah, that's apparently what happens. And that means that Checo's car, as far as we can tell, might be an exact copy of Max's car anyway. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in Hungary.
Yeah.
if the car lasts, if the engine lasts, if Hamilton can drive a clean race.
Yeah, and there has to be a little bit of luck. I mean, if the cars at the start are so close again, they have to fight the same corners again. It's gonna be very very exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
And now they're going to do a sprint race. The next sprint race is in Monza, I think, which is a very high-speed circuit, which has never been, as far as I can tell, a Red Bull circuit. So you can also start, thinking about that. I mean, why do they... I mean, if they do all sprint races on circuits that are not good for Red Bull, you can talk hours about the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that, but anyway.
What I actually also liked this week was about a lot of people saying that Max is too
aggressive.
Too aggressive driving, but he has 0 points on his
on his super license.
The super license, and
that's the history.
Hamilton now has 10 or something. Yeah.
I mean, Max did do that at the start, and he made some mistakes, almost the same mistakes that Hamilton makes, but the stakes were different, and it was not about the high stakes, and also it was low speed corners. He would probably not have done that in Cups, but. So yes, in history, a couple of years ago, Max was not experienced enough and made some mistakes too, which cost some other people's races probably. But he's changed. I mean, the last 2 years, he is much more controlled, and I think he's a very responsible driver, and even sometimes just let Hamilton pass because he knew he was not going to be able to keep him behind, So I don't think, people are also saying, Max should probably have let him go, and then he would still be in front.
Why?
Well, that's the whole thing. You're not racing to let somebody go. You want to race, and Max was really thinking he was in the lead, and he had that corner. It was Max's corner, and he did not expect.
Mercedes, you can tell, we're getting desperate.
Yeah, they are.
Because they don't do well when they're not in front. Their cars don't do well when they're not in the front.
True.
The sprint race showed that.
It's true.
So.
Okay, we'll see about what happens in Hungary. So next week is a really full show. Then we're probably going to do 2 hours next week.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, we've filled 50 minutes already, and we've really not spoken about anything.
We've talked about nothing for 50 minutes. Isn't that great?
Love it.
So there's one thing that I want to do, and that's the Q&A. So I think we still have three people. One of them is me, probably, but
one of them's not me.
No. Okay, no, that's cool.
It's Paul, it's Oscar, and Edwin.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Anyway, so are there any questions of our community right now? I mean, I've seen a lot of things going by, but I mean, if there's a question, now is the time to ask. If
you're watching the video after the live broadcast and you want to get a question answered, just leave it in the chat or something, and we'll try and answer it next week as well.
Very good point.
I mean, and my lights just ran out of battery, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well.
Time to charge that up again.
Finally, some technicalities.
We did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on time.
Yeah, no, as Chris said, very good point. If you've got any questions or remarks, as we say, please leave them below and in the comments, and we will try and get to that next week on one of our other shows. So,
charge this up.
Oh yeah. I've got one. It's just.
By the way, have you noticed when I've been moving around, the camera has been following me?
It's
very cool.
Very cool. That camera is really great, and I should probably have one too.
They've sped up the updates. The last firmware update didn't take 9 hours. It took 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, that's
so they're it's getting better.
That's better. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we've got a question from one of our viewers.
Oh, cool.
Hoe ver is Oscar met een doos achter hem?
Is there a lady standing?
Yeah, there's a I was thinking the same thing, but that's probably a Dutch joke. But so Oscar, how is it going with all the boxes behind you? They're still there, not moved, probably.
Yeah, they're still there. No, nothing is moving. But so the older ones, the Mustang and the DB5 and the Fiat are all built, of course. The Tom's Charger and the Crocodile is built, and this one, the Space Shuttle, is still mint condition.
Mint in box.
Not opened the box yet.
New in box.
Yeah. New in box. Yep. And actually, I really would like to start with R2D2, but. After the unboxing I did, nothing happened. But it's building up the pressure, I would say.
You should just, I don't know, on Sunday or whatever.
They did a DOMS charger. That box has been behind you for weeks. I didn't realize they did a DOMS charger.
Yeah.
But it was there all the time as long as we do the. But here is the build. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's actually quite a cool thing, and there is something. What can you do? Wait for it.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's when you pull the lever, it goes up.
You get the wheelie bar.
Yeah, and you really can. Well, I put it out of the so you can really put it in a wheelie
position.
Yeah.
And it's a supercharged engine, V8, with all the works.
Yeah.
They work when you drive.
Cool.
So
cool.
Now I love the Fast and the Furious films. How did I not know that there was a Lego version of one of their cars?
That's good.
But now
you should watch this show more.
I really should. I must remember to tune in.
Yes, brilliant example of why people should watch this show.
It's because it's informative and not biased.
No. Anyway,
on certain topics.
Okay.
So, but it's but that's the stage. But good question, Edwin. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's about that reminds me of the story. Probably we should quit with the memory of the week, where I when I was 15 years old or something, I wanted to build a RC tugboat, a really big one, which was called the Happy Hunter.
Yeah, the mammoths, the yellow and white.
The yellow one, yeah. And
it was. I remember that because it was the company was Mammoth.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the Happy Hunter. My dad had one of those.
Really? Well,
yeah.
That's unbelievable because I wanted one and I thought, and I just saved enough money to buy it because it was a pretty expensive kit. And then I went to the shop and I wanted to buy it, and then they said, "Oh yeah, but you also need the beslagset. You need so this is the build, and you need another 500 guilders or whatever for all the little rigging and fences and bells and all the other stuff and chains." And I thought, wow, this is crazy because now it's 1,000 guilders instead of 500 guilders, and you still have to build it. And I didn't have any of the electronics, so I saved up more and more and more, and I bought the beslagset, and I bought engines, and I bought because it was 2 engines and a big 12-volt battery, and there was a huge speed controller. It was back in the day. It was not like it was now. And I started building it, and it just, I did not have the skills for that. So there were mistakes made, and I put in the bow thruster, and that didn't go well, and it became a stress within a couple of weeks. But I had spent 1,000 guilders or whatever on all this stuff, and I didn't really feel like, finishing it because I just couldn't do it. So it was there for a long time, and I have this really fantastic family member, an uncle of mine. Oscar knows him very well, and he always, and it was a running gag that always when he came to my house for birthdays or whatever, the first question was, "How is the Happy Hunter doing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, no!" So this thing has been like a nail on my coffin or whatever. It felt like this big thing, and after, I don't know, another 5 or maybe even 10 years, I finally just put it on Marktplaats and I sold the whole thing, partly built. I think for half the money that I paid for it, but I just wanted to get rid of it because it was just one of these failures that you don't want to be confronted with, and but it's still a scar in my brain for some reason.
Other models are still selling this.
Okay.
So the Happy Hunter is $759.
Okay.
The fitting set is $179.
Okay.
The power set is $119.
Well, there you go.
They now have a solid state speed controller.
Okay, that's much better, obviously.
25 amp reversible speed controller. The bow thruster is $62, and the 6-volt 12 amp battery is $30.
Yeah. Well, add that
so you
on.
Can start this again.
I can start it again. Let's just do that. That's face your demons.
Edwin, put it on the list.
Face your demons.
We put it on the list.
Put it on the list. Paul, buy Happy Hunter.
It was a great model. I love that.
It was because it was really, the size was really great. It looked really, it was a real sea-worthy towing.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And in the end, it was because the yellow was starting to sort of not be a cool thing. I thought it was too yellow, but it changed because in the later days, I don't know if it still exists, but it was called the Smith Hunter later, and it was in the black.
Yeah.
And white Smith colors, which was way nicer, I thought. So I should probably just redo it. This is one of these things that if you look back on your life and you think, okay, let's repair the things that I've done wrong. I just do that to just close it, and make it make the full circle.
I might have to build a CGI model of this.
Oh wow, yes. That's cool too.
It's such a cool boat. I had forgotten all about this, but as soon as you said Happy Hunter, I'm like, I know exactly which boat it is.
It is. It's so cool, and we can have it. We can make it drivable in Train Simulator.
It will be a scenery object that has more polygons in it than the train.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But then again, you just have water and rails below it, and you just drive the boat on the rails below the water. So you just sailing it. We could do this. This is another thing.
Then it becomes like Madura Day.
Yes, exactly.
The boat can't go anywhere where there aren't rails.
Exactly. And then there's a little yeah. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, I'm really psyched again to do all these things, and then tomorrow obviously life happens, and you just don't have time for any of this. But Edwin says it's 8 items now on our list.
That's we get to all of those.
Which is great.
Just one show, yay!
Anyway,
and 58 minutes talking about nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. This is a record. Yeah. This is just great because there was absolutely nothing I could think about to be discussing, and we did. So now what becomes very important
have a show.
Is this show gonna be watched more than any of the other shows that we did? Because that would mean that we just don't prepare anything. Nothing. We talk about nothing all the time, which works then. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thanks, Edwin, for everything, really. and also thank you guys obviously for taking the time. It's only an hour a week, but we're all busy, and it's just really great that we all stick to this and just do it every week. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
And then I think this is it for this week. So thanks everybody for watching, and hope to see you next week.
Do your thumbs up
Thumbs up or
Thumbs
down.
up.
Comment.
Hang on.
Do whatever.